attention. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jay with Stone Mountain Adventures, and today I've got a treat for you. We're going to be cooking up a lowcountry boil. Now, a lot of you know that my wife and I used to live in Charleston, South Carolina for a few years, and one of the best things about living in the lowcountry, well, it's those lowcountry boils that you always hear about. I found this recipe on Whipping It Up with Jay. Of course, I'm going to kind of put my own spin on things. I'll put a link to his channel and to his video that I watched. There's tons of other videos out there that do it the exact same way or their own versions of, but it's something I'd never seen before. We're going to be doing this in an oven-baked bag. Yep, it's going to be an oven-baked lowcountry boil. Let's get to it. The first thing we're going to do is get all these potatoes and corn boiling on the stove. While our potatoes and corn start to boil, we're going to go about 10 minutes on those. We're going to go ahead and add to a large saucepan about a tablespoon. I'm using Chosen Foods avocado oil, but you can use butter. We're going to use a ton of butter here in a minute anyway, so that's fine too. And then I'm just going to add, this is pretty much like 2 chopped onions. I just bought the pre-chopped. We're going to let those sweat down for a minute. And then what we're doing here is we're making our sauce. You've seen those mukbangs or mukbangs or however you say it. They got that just juicy, super flavorful looking seafood boils. Well, that's essentially what we're going to try to recreate here. We're going to make a sauce, pour the sauce in the bag with everything else. It's going to be delicious. All right, once our onions start getting a little bit translucent and getting real shiny, we're going to go ahead and throw in 2 sticks of butter. And then to that, we're also going to go ahead and add as much garlic as you want. I'm going to start out with a tablespoon and see how that looks. Probably going to go ahead and do another half tablespoon. The good thing about cooking, folks, you hear me say it all the time, you can make it whatever you want it to be. Alright, so we're going to let that garlic start getting aromatic, just once it starts releasing a good smell into the air. And then we're going to stir all that up, then we're going to hit our dry ingredients in there. Alright, now that our butter has melted, our onions are good and juicy and saucy, and all that garlic has started really incorporating in there, we're going to go ahead and add all of our dry ingredients. Now in here we've got about a tablespoon of garlic powder, a tablespoon of Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning, about a tablespoon, maybe a little bit less than a tablespoon, chili powder, and then up here we've got almost 2 tablespoons, about a tablespoon and a half of paprika. We're just going to add all that to the mix. Also a tablespoon of Old Bay seasoning as well. And once the heat hits that, we're going to let that bloom a little bit, and then we're going to be adding a little bit of chicken stock. Now, there's not really a set amount. This is, like I said, this is going to be your sauce, and this is going to determine how sticky you want your sauce. So, like, if you wanted to, you don't even have to add chicken stock. You can make a really sticky sauce, but we're going to go ahead and drop the temp down, and we're going to add some chicken stock. Now I'm using a low sodium chicken broth. I used unsalted butter as well. One thing, you know, you hear everybody talk about, if you look up any of these other recipes, everybody talks about making sure you watch the salt, because this can get real salty real quick. And so we're just trying to make sure we don't overdo it. Now, one thing y'all may be wondering, Jason, where's the sausage? Well, I forgot about it. So let's go ahead and get another skillet while this is just simmering. There's our timer for our potatoes. While this is just simmering, we'll go ahead and get our sausages grilled up real quick, toss them in here with the sauce. That way they can add some flavor to the sauce as well. And then we'll get ready to fill this bag. Before I get those sausages started, one other thing that I forgot, I guess I'm just losing it today. We're going to put a little bit of this Zatarain's concentrated shrimp and crab oil. It's got a lot of good smells and spices to it. Going to do about that much. Maybe a little more. That's concentrated, so it's stout. So be careful. All right, let's get these sausages started. All right, we're going to brown these sausages up. We're going to add them to our sauce. And we're going to go ahead now and preheat our oven to 400 degrees. All right, now that our sausage is browned up, we're going to go ahead and just transfer it over to our sauce. Because while normally you would want to do this before you start putting your butter and stuff in, like when you're cooking your onions, once they're cooked, go ahead, or they're about cooked, go ahead and throw your sausage in and brown it up. That would just kind of make it easier, and you wouldn't have to dirty as many pans as I did. But like I said, I forgot about it. This will add some flavor to the sauce, plus also let the sausages absorb some of that flavor. And then even if you buy the pre-cooked sausages, you want to do this because when you brown them up, it just gives that other texture, that little bit of crisp on the edges. And then we're actually going to go ahead and take some of this grease and oil and just go ahead and add that in. So we're going to go ahead, give this a stir, and then I've actually taken this off of the heat, but we're just going to go ahead and let everything kind of get worked in together. And then while we're waiting on this, we're going to go ahead and get this bag ready. All right, so as you can see, we've got a big foil pan here. This is just going to be to keep in case your bag busts and it doesn't make a mess in your oven. We've got a kettle here. This is just our Instant Pot kettle. The reason I'm using that is just it's going to make it easier to put everything in this bag. You can do it without it if you want to struggle. I thought I was going to be able to get away with it because I see everybody talk about how you got to have one. It will help, but you can do it without it. So we've got our bag. Now all I'm using are these Reynolds Kitchen oven bags. They're made for doing like meats, turkeys, things like that. This is a 16-inch by 17-inch bag, so it holds quite a bit of stuff, I guess. Bigger than I thought it was going to be. What we've got is some delicious snow crab clusters. We're going to go ahead and put these in. I'm going to put them in with the claws sort of bending up, just to help to make sure you don't bust your bag. The oven's still preheating, so there's that. And then we're going to go ahead and throw all these mud bugs or crawdads, whatever you want to call them, in there. Now these are pre-cooked, so you don't have to worry about them not getting done and things like that. And then we've got some of our peel and eat shrimp. These were frozen also, and I thawed them out. This recipe, guys, is super easy. And honestly, it wouldn't be that expensive if I hadn't had to buy everything all at once. I'll just tell you, this to make this video, it was about 72 bucks. But that's also buying literally everything that you've seen me use. I bought all the ingredients, all that stuff. If you already had that, you're looking, I spent 16 bucks on the crab legs, $9, no, $6 on the crawfish, and I already had the shrimp, but I think they were about $7 or $9 a bag, and that was a 2-pound bag, and I used about half of that. Corn and potatoes, y'all know they're not that crazy bad. So all in all, it wasn't that big of an expense, and it's super easy to do, even though I look like I'm struggling. All right, we've got all that in there. Before I put the potatoes and stuff in, I want to go ahead and put some sauce in here. Here's another reason you want to go ahead and use a foil pan. It's because if you're like me and clumsy, you might spill some stuff. So we're literally just pouring all this sauce in here. Now you could save some for after the cook if you want to put some more on there, because there's nothing in here that you wouldn't or couldn't eat without it getting baked. But I'm going to throw it all in here. Alright, now that that's in there, we're just going to take our corn and our potatoes. We're going to fill that to the top. And then we're going to take our bag. And we're going to leave a little bit of air, but not a lot. Now I'm terrible at tying these, so I'm going to go grab like a, I don't know, a bread tie or something like that and do it that way. Some people can wrap their finger. I got sausage fingers and it just doesn't work that way for me. So I'm going to tie this up. Something else I may do is go ahead and put another bag around it. I saw on the video that I watched before this, they had a bag bust. It's really not a big deal if the bag busts. It's still going to bake because it's going to be in this pan. So it's up to you. I'll see what it looks like once I get this wrapped up. But after this, the oven's preheated. We're going to throw it in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes, okay? But we got everything tied up best I could. I'm going to go ahead and pull it out of the bowl, or out of the kettle. Now remember, your sauce is hot, so don't get burnt. But we're going to go ahead and roll this around a little bit. Now these bags are fairly resilient, so they should hold up. even when they feel like they're not going to. All right. So that's what we've got so far. We just stirred everything up in there, tried to get it mixed in as good as we can, and we're just gonna throw this in the oven. Middle rack, 400 degrees. And I'm gonna set a timer for 15 minutes. In 15 minutes, we'll pull it out, take a look at it, and get to eating. Y'all stay tuned. Hey everybody, while we're waiting on our Lowcountry Boil to finish up in the oven, we've got about 12 minutes left. I just wanted to stop in and just say thanks. If you're enjoying this video, go ahead and subscribe and go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. I'm going to try to start doing a lot more cooking videos and a lot more outdoorsy kind of videos. Wintertime puts a damper on race car stuff, so that's where we're at. If you're here for the race car stuff, just stay tuned. We're getting back to that too. But if you have always stuck with me because of the food stuff, don't worry, I haven't forgot about you. If you're new though, be sure to subscribe, be sure to like, be sure to comment, let me know what's going on, let me know how you're doing, where you're from, how's your mom, all that good stuff. All right, let's get to eat some crab legs. All right guys, this is set for a couple minutes. We're gonna go ahead, cut the bag open and see what we got. Steamy. It smells like a Lowcountry Boil. Gonna mix this all up. Let it cool so that some of those flavors can get back absorbed into the shrimp, into those crab clusters, into the crawfish. Now when some people are doing actual boils, what they'll do is they'll actually, there's devices out there, there's things you can buy that cool the water down super quick after everything's done. What that does is it's a lot like resting the steak. Once the meat starts to drop in temperature again, it starts to absorb all those flavors and all those juices. Some people just throw a ton of ice in a bucket, things like that. Unfortunately, this makes it a little bit difficult to do that, so we're just gonna let it kind of cool off on its own. And in doing so, hopefully it'll absorb a lot of these flavors and we'll be able to taste this real soon. All right guys, we're gonna squat down a little bit here. This stuff looks amazing. I'm running out of battery. I want to get into this real quick. Since some of y'all probably don't think I'll eat it, let's go ahead and get one of these little guys busted open here. Pretty good. Definitely can taste that Tony Chachere's. It's taking in a lot of that flavor. Let's get one of these claws. Oh. Dip it in some sauce. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yep, you did good, kid. You did good. I'm out of practice on breaking open some claws here. Amazing, amazing. Go ahead. Potato, super tender. Let's get one of these shrimps. Gonna go ahead and peel him up. Outstanding. Y'all, this is a super easy recipe. I know I look like I struggle, but it's literally the first time I've ever done it, and I decided to do it on camera. So, you know, if you had leisurely time at your house, you'd probably get this done in about 40 minutes. No joke. If you don't add all the other things, you don't have to worry about it. Ooh, sausage. Tons of flavor, super tender, everything's delicious. Honestly, on a cold winter day, even though we've had a heat wave, it was like -3 last week. It was up in the 50s today. It's an awesome indoor cook you can do without having to worry about getting out a huge pot, a huge pan, and doing all that stuff. Just make your sauce, pour it in the bag, and put it in the oven. Literally all I did. So, all right, guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit like, be sure to subscribe. Be sure to let me know down in the comments below what you think, what you would have done different. I know some people would have probably put lemon, or they're going to ask me where the lemon was. I'm not a big lemon fan. So, there you go. All right. Till next time, guys, y'all stick with me. We'll see what we can do. Thanks. God bless. Man, oh, I didn't try the corn. Oh, that might be the best thing right there. Honey, come eat.